Chapter 1. Hello, or hi, y'all, as some of us say here in the Southeast. My name is Kendra. I will be your guide as we explore the Southeast region. We will visit the states of Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Florida. We'll be doing a lot of traveling, but don't worry. On this tour, you can stop anytime just by shutting the book. You can eat a snack or take a walk. When you're ready to continue our adventure, I'll be right here. First, we'll look at the land of the Southeast. I'll show you all of my favorite places. Then, we'll see what kind of jobs people have in this region. Finally, we'll meet some of the people of the Southeast. They'll show us how they live and some of the things they like to do for fun. I hope you all enjoy the trip. Let's go. The most. The Southeast has more warm wetlands than any other region. Its long shoreline gives us beautiful sandy beaches to enjoy. The oldest. The Appalachian Mountains are the oldest mountains in the United States. They were formed over 250 million years ago. That was before the age of dinosaurs. The highest and the lowest. The highest mountain in this region is Mount Mitchell in North Carolina. It is part of the Appalachian Mountains. Florida is the flattest, lowest state. Millions of years ago, the land now known as Florida was sea bottom. The mighty Mississippi River. We're going to begin our trip at the mouth of the Mississippi River. Here, the fresh water of the river mixes with the salty water of the Gulf of Mexico. Have you ever looked at a river's mouth before? You won't see any big teeth, but in this river's mouth, you will see lots of mud, about 13,000 square miles of it, and it was all brought here by the river. About 400 million tons of mud are carried here every year from farmlands 2,000 miles away. That's how this watery landform, called the Mississippi Delta, gets its rich, dark soil. Water in this delta region does not always drain away. As a result, wetlands, called marshes, stretch out in every direction. Here, you see only a few trees. They grow only where the ground is higher, but don't try to sit in their shade. You'll sink up to your waist in mud. Alligators just love these marshes. So do all the wading birds. With their long legs and long necks, they are able to wade in the water and find shrimp, crawfish, and other sorts of fish to eat. Underwater, this quiet place is teeming with life. The Appalachian Mountains. There are many other landforms to see, so let's move on to the Cumberland Plateau. A plateau is an area of flat land that is higher than the land around it, but not much is left of the flat top here. It has been eroded or worn away, leaving deep valleys and steep hills. Up ahead are the Appalachian Mountains. These mountains are not very tall, only 2,000 to 6,000 feet high. That is because the Appalachians are very old and have worn away. When they were young, the Appalachians were towering snow-capped mountains. That was over 250 million years ago. Rolling hills and flat plains. On the eastern side of the Appalachian Mountains is the Piedmont region. Piedmont is a French word that means foothills, and that is just what the Piedmont is, gently rolling hills at the foot of the mountains. As we travel east, the land gets flat. We're now on the coastal plain. If you look at the map on page 6, you'll see that this landform stretches from Virginia to Florida, along the Atlantic, and the Gulf Coast of Louisiana. In some areas, these plains are so flat that water hardly moves at all. So here, you'll find more wetlands. If you're beginning to think that the Southeast has lots of water and wetlands, you are right. Have you ever heard of the Great Dismal Swamp? Well, it's right here in Virginia and North Carolina. You saw marshes at the Mississippi Delta, but a swamp is a different kind of wetland. A marsh is grassy with just a few trees. It is a bright and sunny place. A swamp is filled with trees and hanging vines. It's a dark and mysterious place. In the dim light under the trees and the tangle of vines, raccoons, bobcats, and even bears live. What a great setting for a scary movie. Islands. The Southeast has hundreds of islands too. My favorite is Assateague Island off of the Atlantic coast. Assateague Island is a sand dune, a long, thin hill of sand. It is called a barrier island because it acts like a barrier, or wall protecting the mainland from rough ocean waves. The island is famous for its wild ponies. Ponies have lived here for hundreds of years, wild and free. Further south in the tropical waters off Florida, you will find a special kind of island called a key. Keys are made from coral, limestone skeletons formed by tiny sea animals. Sometimes masses of coral get so big that they rise above the water, forming coral islands. As you can see, the Southeast is made up of different land areas. Now that we've toured the wetlands, plains, and hills of the region, it's time to travel its highways and waterways. Let's see how the people living here use the land and the many resources in the region to make a living. Let's find out why the Southeast is one of the fastest growing regions in the country.